for the next 3 months, I'm going to focus on what the communities around us, around Hudson, are doing for their seniors. And today, my guest is Mayor Molnar from Macedonia. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell me about you and your beginnings in Macedonia and a little bit about the community.
So myself, my family had moved here when I was going into 5th grade into Macedonia.
Oh.
We lived in Garfield Heights and wanted to larger, yard and things like that. And a lot of people generally that live in the Nardonia area come from Garfield Heights, Maple Heights, Bedford. It was kind of a migration, but we moved to Macedonia into the Nardonia community. Really enjoyed it. I graduated high school from there with my wife in the same year.
Oh.
I didn't pay attention to her until college when I visited her roommate, but ironically we've been together ever since.
That's wonderful.
But I have 2 children, my daughter Bellamia, who is 16, and my son Leonardo, who is 9. So
beautiful names.
Very Italian names, if you haven't figured that out.
Oh,
I'm
they're
very
beautiful.
proud of that.
Do you call her Bella?
I actually call her Mia more than anything.
Mia. Oh, it's a beautiful name.
But yeah, she's a great kid and great basketball player. She's 6'2", and again, we're Italian, so it doesn't make much sense.
You're tall though.
But yeah, we're trending in the right direction for colleges, so
Yep.
it's good
Scholarship.
stuff. I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
How long have you been mayor?
So I've been mayor for 5 years. I was on city council for 10, so I'm very familiar with the local government. Ours works a little bit different than Hudson does. I can tell you that we're a nonpartisan, but we are a strong mayor form of government. So we have the city council with 5. We don't have a city manager. So I am the mayor, I am the safety director, and I am the economic development director. So I am all of that. I'm responsible for a lot, but it's all good. I really, really enjoy my job.
I can tell. Does city council report to you then, or are you and city council, you work together with them?
They are an independent body. So whatever I propose is up to them how they want to handle it. I can ask for anything I want, doesn't mean that they're going to approve it. So they hold the purse strings to all the dollars that come into the city. So they have to approve anything that I want to accomplish.
Okay.
So we have a good unit. I mean, in the past there's been some turmoil, and I think people saw it in the papers. You may notice since I've been in office, you're not seeing us in the paper, and that's for good reason because we're not trying to stir the pot.
Quite a while back, I do remember.
Those days are over.
Yeah. Well, good. Yeah, they probably should be.
Yes.
We're nonpartisan as well. I don't know if that's the way it ends up being, but we're supposed to be a nonpartisan body of leaders. So, Mayor Molnar, let's talk specifically now about seniors because that's my audience. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be terribly specific, but what percentage of seniors, of folks would you say are over 60 or 65 in Macedonia?
Probably around 20%, so a fifth.
Oh, all right. Ours is about the same thing. Ours is not quite a fourth, but it's sort of in between that. So, and it's growing exponentially. Do most folks live in their own home, now seniors, or in residential settings? We talked about some of the really nice facilities you have in Macedonia.
Yeah, most live in their own homes. We don't allow for apartment type living. Assisted living we do allow for, that's a little bit different, but it's mostly their own homes.
So the villas that we talked about, which are lovely and right off Valley View, are those are independent living?
Yes.
For a senior community.
Yes.
And then sort of next across the street from each other are 2 large facilities. So those are your residential senior places?
Correct. So there was a vision from a mayor before me, Mayor Miglerini, who had said that, when he designed things and he was building the city up, he wanted to make Macedonia a place where you can be born in it, live in it, and die in it one day. Because all the care can be held in one community, and that was his vision, and he helped to enact that with all these things that we have now. So you can live there your entire life and be happy and be around your family, and that's something he preached a lot to me, when we would speak a lot when he was mayor, is that, it's about family, it's about keeping everyone together and keeping them all in the same community. So his vision is there, and it's thriving right now.
Yeah, I can tell. I was telling you that a friend of mine, regardless of the many places we have in Hudson, and not to diss any of them, but she ended up with her parents in one of the one of the residential areas in Macedonia. So, do you have a senior center? Is it used? Tell me all about your senior center, as much as you know about it. We don't have one here in Hudson, so I'm really interested to hear what communities have.
So we do have a senior center. It's in our community room in the basement of our city hall. If you've been to our city hall, it's a very, very large building. And again, the vision was there. Mayor Miglerini again built that building with the idea that that area would be used mostly for seniors, and when they're not using it, it's used for things like, you know, when you have a shower or anyone in the community could rent it. It has a huge kitchen on the back of it with everything you could possibly ever need on it. But yes, we have that room dedicated to them. So each week, and pandemic kind of changed things a little bit.
It did for us too.
We're starting to get back to what we were doing before, but essentially what we have now is on Wednesdays and Fridays, we have what's called the Out to Lunch Bunch. I truly enjoy them. I think they're great people. I go down there every Friday to have lunch with them. And when I'm not there, they're asking where I'm at because the company, I mean, they're just, the stories and just, you know, it lights up the room when I walk down there because I like to see them. And I want to tell a little story because I think it's important. When I first came into office, I went down there on a Friday for lunch, and we were trying to pass a levy at the time. And one of the gentlemen looked at me and he goes, you know, you're only coming down here because you want to pass a levy. And I said, sir, that's not true. He goes, yeah, whatever, get out of here. I was down there every Friday for 2 years before he looked at me and said, you know what, you were right. And I said, I don't lie. I'm going to give you the honest to God truth because I enjoy the company. I like going down there. It's getting to know people live in your community. I mean, seniors or whoever is living in the community, you need to get to know them and understand what they want and what their needs are. And that's why I do that. But more than that, I've developed friendships.
Oh,
like I'm Facebook friends with a lot of these people, and you know, they get to see
wonderful.
pictures of my kids, and
That's
you know,
wonderful.
it means a lot to me because the seniors in our community are very, very important, and we do a lot to take care of them, and which I'm sure we'll get into later. But that area down there where we have the Out to Lunch Bunch, which I referenced.
Out to Lunch Bunch, I love that.
2 days a week, it's a $4 hot lunch. It's a healthy, good lunch for them to eat. We have a caterer bring in food. Sometimes we cook it ourselves in their kitchen.
So the kitchen has a stove
It has
and
everything you can eat.
Oh,
It's massive. They get a nice dessert with it. We have drinks. I mean, it's really, really nice for them. And we, you know, there's always the different activities for different times of the year. So we have a lady named Sherry Kuzma. She's in charge of that. She also works in our fire department.
I've talked to her.
Sherry is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Their seniors love her because she does everything to keep that thing whole. I mean, she lights up the room when she walks down there because she's just so great at what she does in relationships, and she could tell you where they live, how old they are, what they like, what they don't like, where they like to sit. I mean, it's so healthy and good. I can't put into words how much I love it. But again, it comes back to a $4 hot meal. Now, when the pandemic hit and we couldn't utilize the room, she started something where we had volunteers delivering meals to people. And we still continue that to this day.
Twice a week on Wednesdays and Fridays?
Yes.
Oh,
So
how
there's
nice.
2 days a week where we're delivering meals. And again, it's a $4 meal. It's a good, healthy meal for them to eat. And if you can't make it, we'll deliver it to you. So we're doing a lot to take care of those folks.
And the city is doing this for
Yes.
the residents? This is not volunteers or churches?
We have volunteers that help deliver the meals, but some of our employees help to put the things together. So everything's kind of culminates into one. But it's important to note that when I talk about Macedonia and our senior center, that encompasses other things. So that's Northfield Village, Northfield Center, and Sagamore Hills. We have a partnership with our neighbors in the Nordonia community that also take part in that. So we deliver to all of them as well. We take Hudson as an
Oh,
example. It's a
my
larger
word.
community, so we combined all that together to be one. I'm big on the unity. I'm big on being a good neighbor. I've met many people in Hudson. I've met the city administration. I know them. If we ever need anything, I can get a hold of them immediately. It's about being a good neighbor, not just, you know, I'm Macedonia and I'm Hudson. That
In a
means,
silo.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
means nothing to me. It's not a fiefdom to me. To me, it's about being a good neighbor and being part of a bigger picture.
Oh, I think that's excellent. So the community room, that's what we currently use. We have a big community room in City Hall on the first floor. And right now, we have to lease it and it's for anybody, but seniors we have things going on almost every day of the week for our seniors. You know, I don't know if we're going to be able to stay there. I don't know what's going to happen when our lease is up, but right now the community room is essential for us. So do you, other than your lunch bunch, do you have other things that go on in that room?
Oh,
for
absolutely.
seniors?
And there's more than that. You know, they have bingo every Friday and Wednesday. They have bingo. I mean, peer socialization,
Yeah.
mahjong. I'm sorry.
Mahjong. I'm a big Mahjong girl, so I know about
Yeah.
Mahjong.
They play cards. I mean, they have line dancing class every other Friday. But it's even bigger than that because we have our recreation center where a lot of our seniors go there. We have the Silver Sneakers program. And if you go in there during the day, a lot of the seniors in our community are in there. I mean, they're utilizing that facility for a number of different reasons, so much so that our Parks and Recreation right now is ranked in the top 4 in the country. And we may be number 1, we haven't
Lord.
heard yet, top 4 in the country for what we do. And a
Congratulations.
big piece of that is what we do with our seniors. So we do a lot to keep them healthy, and we had to do a video for that. And there was a lady, I believe she was 102 years old. And she said that she had gone to her doctor, she had broken her hip, and her doctor said, had you not been working out in that facility and keeping yourself strong, you probably wouldn't have made it through this. But because you kept yourself strong and you went to that facility is why you're here today.
So they have balance classes.
We have
aerob-
every class you can think of known to man. We have a pool that is used.
That pool is awesome.
It's an Olympic pool. I know our high school swims there. I know they have
Yep.
the competitions there.
I have now
But during
and
the
then-
day, again, it's more for our senior community. I mean, it's something that's driven towards them because that's the times when they want to use it. And if you go there on any given day, again, you're going to see a lot of those folks there. So
I have for their aquasize class, and then you've got an arthritis pool, I
Yep.
think, down there.
Yep.
It is a beautiful, beautiful facility. And I was actually really surprised and pleased that you allow people from outside of Macedonia to join. That was a good thing.
again, I'm not a fiefdom person.
Yeah.
I believe in being a good
Stay
neighbor.
out of here.
And if you know the history of Macedonia, we got our name because of people that lived in Hudson. There was a religious group that used to come and pray in Hudson, and there was a biblical passage where it mentioned Macedonia and the crossroads, and that's how we got our name.
No kidding. Oh my God,
Yep.
I had never heard of that. No, well, see, we are neighbors. All right. So, who decides? Let me ask some specific questions. How does the city, and if this is too specific, let me know. How does the city pay for senior activities? How does the city we have no employees that work with our seniors. We're all volunteers. How does the city figure that out, I guess? I know you have Cheryl as your director. And then does she hire people who are doing the lunches and that kind of thing?
So again, we cater a lot of those, and I need to correct myself
okay.
from earlier because the Wednesdays and Fridays are the out to lunch bunch. Wednesdays are called something different, but
Okay,
different groups.
that's
But
all right.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are deliver lunch, so you can actually get a meal 4 days a
4
week for
days a
$4.
week.
Yeah, but Sherry does a lot of the work. Matter of fact, I just told them to hire someone else, and I think they extended an offer yesterday to another person to help with this because what I just brought on is I bought a bus that we're going to do more senior programs with.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so we have a brand new bus that will take them, and we're working through all that. And I think this assistant, that's what I was envisioning, needed more help because you have to coordinate that, have people drive it, safety, all that's really, really important. But we got a bus for them now as well.
So the bus could go to the fitness center
They can go
if
anywhere.
they wanted to go.
But what we're thinking about is more of like little trips. Like we're going to start small because it's actually a community bus, and we like to use things as much as possible everywhere. So for recreation, things like that will be used all over. But things like maybe going down to Grandpa's Cheese Barn,
yeah,
going down
that's
there
a
for a
great
day,
place.
or a trip to a casino, or whatever it may be. Just
Right.
little day trips because it's a smaller bus, but it's a bus.
Right.
So just activities to more bolster that. I've been asked a lot about, and you're probably going to hear this, doctor's appointments and things like that. That's not really the intention of it. That's a lot. That's really hard to do, or grocery shopping, and that may be something in the future if 10 different people want to meet and get on the bus and go grocery shopping, we may be able to do that. But it's all things that we're gonna kind of let this thing evolve, and it's
Yep.
going to be great for them.
We have had lots of our seniors ask about day trips also, but we don't have a bus, of course. And I know that Twinsburg has a bus that they use for Mondays and Wednesdays. They do certain grocery stores and so on. But it is a logistical, I don't want to say nightmare, but it really requires a lot of planning. And they have dedicated bus drivers who do these things. So I'd love to see something like that, but I can't, that's pretty far down the line. I think that's hard to put together.
I've been asked for a bus in my 5 years as mayor, and I finally got one, and we're working on the graphics now, so they keep asking me every Friday when I go down for lunch, where's the bus, where's the bus? I said, we need to hire Sherry's assistant, and we're going to get it, but we're there.
It's coming.
We're near it.
Then do you have to hire a bus driver too then?
What we're talking about now is they may do volunteers, but there'd be obviously the safety protocols
Yeah.
where they have to know how to operate it, take a test, you know,
Yeah,
do
yeah.
maneuverability and things like that.
Oh,
I mean,
that's
heck,
kinda
I even
neat.
said, you know, maybe on the first one I'll drive it because I have a CDL, I can drive it anyway, but
Okay.
it doesn't require a CDL, but you know, maybe on the first one just as the maiden voyage.
The maiden voyage. I'll be watching. In Twinsburg, they have retired school bus drivers who have volunteered and are paid a nominal wage, but it's kind of been, that's how they got their bus driver group. Do you provide things like, what other types of services? I'm going to bring up the two that I hear most from our seniors is snow plowing and yard leaf something, you know, whether it's cleanup in the fall or cleanup in the spring or both.
So we offer a bunch of different things, and it's based kind of on your income level because, you know, we want to take care of the people that are in need the most. But we do offer free snow plowing, we offer free trash pickup, and we also offer free gutter cleaning. So we do all that for our seniors because, again, those ones that are in need, we want to make sure we're taking care of. I mean, these are the people that have laid the path for us, and I'm very high on making sure we take care of them.
My goodness, that's very nice. So you vet them according to income. So some people would not be offered these services
Correct.
if they could pay for them.
Now, the catch that too is if they're disabled in any way,
Right.
you know, I always make the exceptions because as the mayor in the bylaws, I can make exceptions, and I have for certain people that it makes sense. You know, if you're able to afford to have things done, you know, obviously then you should do that. But the folks that are maybe struggling a little bit financially are the ones that we're really taking care of. And we have some people, there's quite a few people we take care of, but I think it's all heartwarming good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Oh, I think that's very impressive. Do you use city plows to do the snowing?
No,
Snow
we
removal?
sub out the snow plowing for the driveways. So we have a sub that goes out and takes care of that. And they do a pretty good job. We've had the same one consistently for years that people seem to like.
That's a big project to
Yep.
organize every winter.
A lot of coordination.
Oh yeah, I can well imagine. Gutter cleaning and all right, that's wonderful. And I already learned about your free lunch program and your delivery program. What about, and we talked about transportation services. So the things in Macedonia that you have described, Mayor, are free or $4 for any senior who wants to have lunch. Income dependent on the services that they get if they stay in their home. But it sounds like such a thriving program.
It is, and you mentioned earlier, and I didn't touch on it, but you know, a lot of the funding that we get is some of it's through
Yeah.
grants, but some of that we fund through the city as well. So it's again something we recognize that's important, and City Council has always supported us on the cost associated with these things because they see the value in that, and that's something that I will pride myself on. I know that City Council prides themselves on, and you know, we're going to help those folks.
Do you do it by levy or do you do it by property tax?
It just comes through the general fund, so we just pull the dollars out of there and we account for them and allocate those funds, and they're there every year. So it's not an extra tax for people. We wouldn't do it that way. It wouldn't be that much to where we need to do that anyway. But again, something I think we need to do.
I think we need to do it too. I'm hoping that in our future we can do that. As a group of volunteers, we've been together since 2019. We were pulled together by the Mayor Basil, who was the mayor at that time, and it's a lot for a group of volunteers to do. And we are a 501c3 now
Yep.
too, so we can raise our own money to try to do some of these things. But we rely very heavily on we call them sponsors, and it's the home health or nursing homes or residential places around us who want to be in front of our seniors.
Sure.
So they will bring lunch for our Wednesday lunch group or whatever. Do you have support from your, I hate calling them nursing homes, from your residential
Yeah.
and they interact with Sherry to get senior services as needed.
We have quite a few that come in and they want to, buy lunch for the day, or there's speakers
Yeah.
that come in, and they just had like the Alzheimer's folks come in, and they had the donation box where a lot of people threw dollars in there for them. But a lot of times we'll get people that want to come in just to talk, and they buy lunch for the day. So that even that day the $4 lunch is free because whoever the sponsor is for that day wants to buy lunch for everybody.
Okay.
So
That's
there's a
how
lot of
ours
free
is, too.
days, and usually once a year I buy them lunch around Christmas time just to say Merry Christmas, and it's all the nice things, and they really appreciate that. And who doesn't like freebies? I mean, it's all good stuff. So a lot of them bring freebies in, and they'll bring the desserts in, which are usually a hit.
Yep.
I mean, I have a sweet tooth, so I don't mind it.
Yep, me too. I can tell you that. Well, no wonder some of our Hudson residents are going to things in Macedonia, and I bet your day trips are going to get filled in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a popular program. And I want to be clear, I'm not comparing us to Hudson. I'm
I
not
know,
trying to act like
I'm not
we're
either.
any better, different. That's not what I'm getting at. I just know where we've come. And if we can do anything to help you guys with your journey, or even the city with what we do and how we've gotten there, I'm more than willing to do that. But I don't want to say that I'm comparing us, because these are things that we've done for many, many years.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
I
something we've had in
understand that.
place.
I understand that. I can't help but compare, but I also I think that what we need to do here in Hudson is find out what other places are doing, and maybe find out how we can do them too. So that's the goal of the next 3 months, in meeting with people around me.
Well, the good example, like I talked about Parks and Rec, when I hired the new director, I got him from Colorado. I really had to reach out very, very far. And I told him, I'm tired of calling other communities to see how they're doing things. I said, one day I want to stand on stage with you and get an award for what we've done. And in 3 short years, we've done that. We're going to be in Texas in October. We're getting an award no matter what for the top 4. But just a note on that as well, that's communities of 30,000 or less. Macedonia is around 12,500 to 13,000 people. So we're competing with 30,000
Oh my word!
residents.
Congratulations!
So I can't bolster that enough, because I think it's amazing.
I think it's amazing too. Well, this guy needs a raise.
He got one.
Good, good. Is there anything else that you want to add? I'm delighted to hear what places are doing. I really am. And some have different things. Twinsburg I mentioned with their grocery and drugstore bus, but I don't know if, that's their thing. Other places have day trips, and some of us don't have that yet, but it's coming, I hope. It's coming.
Yeah, I think a lot of what we do is just partnerships. I mean, it's being a good neighbor, like I mentioned earlier. I pride myself on spending the time to meet, like with Tom Sheridan, your city manager, and your mayor. I spent some time with him. You mentioned Twinsburg. I know the mayor there. We spent some time. It's creating that good neighborly stuff that if you can bounce ideas off each other, see what they're doing, and things like this are perfect examples of that, to where we can be of assistance, or we can see what you guys are doing so that we can improve upon what we're having. So, I mean, a lot of what I want to do is be a good partner. I want to be a good neighbor. Something that my parents instilled in me at a very young age, just to be a good neighbor. So I spend a lot of time visiting the communities around me to see what they're doing, and just to establish that relationship.
Good for you.
I appreciate what we did here today, because I think this is all healthy, good stuff.
I do too. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Bye-bye.